Hey guys, it's Allison and Chris with your Edge podcast, and today we're going to be talking all about credit cards. If you've been reading the news or talking to your friends or talking to your credit card companies, your banks, or anything like that, you may notice that there's been a lot of increased credit card rates lately, interest rates. So wanted to talk to you about that. If this has happened to you, I want to give you different tips on, what you can do if your credit card company does increase your rates, and also just to kind of watch out for. So let's go. I'm on the edge
of graduating college,
of getting a job,
of getting married,
of buying a house. This is the Edge podcast. All right, so the banks are increasing the credit card interest rates, and really the reason for that is because they're not making as much profit. They're also increasing different fees and things like that because they need to make profit. Unlike credit unions, who of course all their profit goes back to their members, and lower interest rates and higher savings rates, banks, their profit actually goes to stockholders and different things like that. So banks really, they're losing a lot of profit. They were involved with the mortgage lending, so that kind of went downhill big time, and then also with the recession. So they're really looking for ways to increase their profit, and that's why they're increasing interest rates and fees. So really the problem too is the banks don't really care what your payment history is, what your credit score is. They're increasing rates no matter what. And if people are making payments on time, and if you're paying off your credit cards and things like that, it doesn't really matter to them. They may actually increase your rates first because they're not making any money off of you if you are paying your debt down every time, and if you don't really have any balances month to month. So really nobody is safe from the credit card increase. Now, has this happened to you, or
no, but I have heard a few things going on. I know I follow politics pretty closely, and I know that they're trying to get a bill passed to stop credit cards from banks raising the rates on credit cards. But what you have to understand is that something like that could easily pass, but what they'll do, and I think what you're getting to, is that they're going to make that in the fees that they charge. So even though they cap that off, you really have to take a closer look now more than ever at your statements, because they're going to start increasing fees in different areas and adding new different fees for service charges and stuff like that. These people aren't bad with the money management. Obviously they come up with their own tricks to help get their share of their money. So it's just things that you have to look out for. And
the problem too is again, nobody's safe, and they need to make profit. So really what else are they going to do? You really need to keep a watch on that. So what do you do if your credit card company does say they're going to increase the rates? I know I've talked to a lot of people that say they close their credit cards out right away, they pay off the fees, but that's not always the best thing, because as you know, if you close a lot of your credit cards, your credit score goes down. So what do you do? About.com actually has 5 different options for you, so I'm just going to go through them and we can talk about it a little bit. The first one is opting out, which I never even knew you could do. But if you do get a letter or a call or something like that saying that your credit card rate is going to increase, you can opt out and say, no, I'm not going to take it. And they normally give, kind of a different time. So they'll close your credit card, and then you can pay off the debt with the same low interest rate that you've been paying before. Now, that may not be the best option, again, if your credit score is just okay, because you don't really want to have closed credit cards.
Will the score go down?
The score will go down a little bit every credit card you close. So that's an option. If your credit score is really great, then you can maybe have them close it and you can opt out. The second thing is negotiate. If you do have a really good payment history, they may negotiate with you and still give you a higher rate, but it may not be as high as they were saying they were going to give you in the beginning. So negotiate, that's the second one. The third one is pay off your balance quickly. Pay off all your debt as quickly as you can, and then just don't have any payment on that credit card. You don't have to close it, but you won't have any payment on that. And that, of course, is kind of tough too if you don't have extra money lying around. You may need to sacrifice a few things, but in the end, you don't want to pay 26% on your credit card if you don't have to. So pay off that balance as soon as you can. The fourth thing is transfer your balance to a lower interest rate credit card. This is great. A lot of credit unions have balance transfer offers going on right now. Credit unions, again, they're not out to make profit for themselves. The profit goes back to the members, as I said before, with lower interest fees and lower interest rates on loans and things like that, and then higher interest rates on savings. So credit unions are definitely the best bet right now with credit cards. They will walk you through everything. So you can always talk to your credit union representative and say, look, I don't know what I'm going to do. My credit card or my bank is really trying to boost my interest rate. And then they can say, look, we have a balance transfer. We have, a special running right now. You can always talk to them about that. So you can actually close out the credit card again and transfer your balance from that high interest credit card to a lower interest credit card. So your credit union representative will definitely have the best options and be able to walk you through it. So I think that option is actually the best right now. So you can always do that, transfer your balance. I'm sorry. The last thing you can do is just be kind of passive and sit back and take it. If you have the lower payments, you're not really doing that much. If you don't have a huge balance on your credit card, just keep paying it off every month. And then again, the interest rate won't hit you too hard. But then, banks are also just closing people's credit cards if they haven't used them for a few months. So that's also something to watch out for. And remember, like I said before, closing credit cards does affect your credit score. And credit scores are super important. I know we had a podcast about that not too long ago about how credit's so important, especially in this economy. If your credit score drops, it'll be really hard to, buy a house, rent a house or an apartment, even open up a cell phone plan. That's really tough too. You might need to have a cosigner open up a plan for you if your credit score is really low. So if you are having a problem, if you do have a high balance on a bunch of credit cards, and if your credit score is low, talk to the credit union representatives about it. They have a ton of options for you. Also do your research. So really, the last thing I wanted to mention too was 0% interest credit cards for 6 months. Not the best idea unless you read the fine print. A lot of people kind of got stuck with that. They have 0% interest credit cards and the 6 months is almost up. And they're going back and reading the fine print and seeing that their credit card interest now is going to be like 20%. So, that's really tough too. So you really got to keep your eyes open. You got to be smart. You got to check your credit card statements and any letters you receive. And then you also have to do your research and talk to your credit union representative. So if you have any questions about that, again, go to about.com. or go to your credit union website. There's a ton of information out there about it. abc.com also had some information about credit cards as well. So be smart, watch the news and stay updated, and you should be fine. So if you have any questions, make sure you email us or talk to the credit union about them, and we will talk during the next podcast. Thanks, guys.
See ya.